Okay, so this is the trailer I picked up in Texas and some chickens. It's a 16-foot tilt with a fancy jack on it. Fancy electric jack. I'll show you how that works maybe. Well, do that now. Cool, huh? Fancy schmancy. So anyway, this is...
Chicken Littles came over to check it out.
There's Peeps. Hey, Peeps! He's getting bigger. He's growing. Heck. You chickens. Hey, Peeps. Peeps, you're acting like a rooster. What you doing, Big Bird? I see her. She's pretty. Big Hen. Roosty. That's new girl over there. Okay. Good morning. We are getting an early start to finish the job I started yesterday, which is taking this little 16-foot tilt trailer up to Oklahoma City. But first I'm going to run over here and get my fluffy coffee, get ready to go. I've got plenty of time, so why not? So it's not quite 7 o'clock yet. It's about 10 till. Got a couple of things resolved last night. We got our internet repaired by doing the new modem thing, so now I can actually upload videos much easier. We'll give it a try tonight because I uploaded one yesterday. It still was at 48% when I got home yesterday, but once we got the internet up, the rest of it went within minutes. So it sat for literally over 24 hours trying to upload. So our upload rate was like minuscule with the old modem. With the new modem, it seems to be like faster than our download rate, which is pretty good. It's pretty awesome. And our download rate's good as well. So I guess the modem itself can have a pretty radical effect on your internet service when you're doing wireless, in the house. So, yeah. I worked on my editing on my second Colorado video. I'll have it up tonight probably. If I don't get another job today, I'll probably just come home and get that posted up. If I do get another job, who knows what I'll be doing? I have no idea. I mean, I'm not going to take a long job and go anywhere. If I get another job that's going someplace long, far away, it's going to have to be just bringing the trailer home with me and sit until Wednesday or whatever. Because nobody's going to be open after today, I don't think, with 4th of July. So we'll see. It's always a mystery. Well, not always. It's usually a mystery what my next move is going to be in this business. Not because my broker likes surprising me, but because jobs come in randomly. It's not like everybody calls him at 8 o'clock in the morning with a list of jobs. It doesn't work that way. Why, I don't know, but it doesn't. I mean, I think they even call him, after hours. Oh, by the way, we need somebody over here in 3 hours to pick up this trailer, whatever. This kind of thing. I'm pretty sure he gets a lot of that. So the chickens all had to come check out this trailer this morning. The young chickens. They're pretty fond of it already, I think. They looked a little sad when I was pulling out with it. I think they were looking at it as a place to hop up on and then shade, probably. I don't know how chickens think. Maybe they don't think. I don't know. I think they probably do a little bit, though. As much as they need to, anyway. I don't know how much chickens need to think. But I've always heard, disparaging things about chickens, that they're too stupid to go in out of the rain and all kinds of mean things about how dumb they are. Actually, they're not. They're pretty freaking smart. I mean, they're smart about the things they need to be smart about. I've never seen one sit down and do calculus, but, I can't do that either, so, But they seem to be intelligent about chicken things. And yes, they will go in out of the rain for the most part, unless it's just sprinkling and they're like, oh, whatever. So chickens have gotten a bad rap, I think. Pretty bad. It just occurred to me I probably shouldn't try and take this across this railroad crossing. I'm going to have to double back in through town, go over the main crossing. This trailer sits pretty low. I don't know, I can probably make it over it. I don't want to get it stuck up there, though. It's not a good thing. It's like 10 years ago, it was like a $10,000 fine if you get a trailer stuck on a railroad track. So I may or may not be able to make it across. I'm not going to take a chance. I'm just going to double back and go over the main crossing in town. It's pretty flat. This one's not super steep, but it's steep enough. I don't know. Let me look. I don't know. They evened it out quite a bit. Yeah, I think we're okay. I've hauled trailers across it before and didn't get stuck, so I think we're good. This guy didn't get all out and my wind blocked me. Yeah, it's not that sharp of a... I get overly worried about railroad crossings, and then I remember, I've been across this one many times with trailers. If you're pulling a semi-sized lowboy trailer, I wouldn't go across that crossing, but a normal trailer, it's not a problem. Jeez. Color coordinated dude, you don't see that very often. I'm going to assume his wife dresses him. That might be kind of a mean thing to say in a way, but most guys don't color coordinate their shoes and their hats and their shirts. I mean, I don't know any guys who color coordinate their shoes and their hats and their shirts. Not one. Not one. The only people I've ever seen, the only men I've ever seen that were actually color coordinated are ones that wear uniforms. Because those are kind of already coordinated for them. Men don't care or think about that kind of thing like women do. Just, men are just different. And that's a good thing. There are people these days who seem to think men and women are like Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, that you can pull parts off one, stick them on the other, and they're interchangeable, but that's not true. It's not how it works. Unfortunately, some people believe this stuff, and it causes a lot of problems for everybody because they think that we're supposed to all go along with it and wholeheartedly agree and endorse it and push it ourselves, or we're not worthy, you know. But I'm not subscribing to that attitude. I have no interest in promoting or propagating a blatant and obvious lie and calling it true. So there you have it. You know, people can pretend whatever they want to pretend, I guess, but just because they're pretending it doesn't mean it's real, and doesn't make it my reality. It doesn't make it anybody's reality. It makes it the person's pretending or, you know, acting, masquerading, whatever. You know, you put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. It's not a supermodel. You know? Same principle applies to men. Put lipstick on a man, it's still a man. Still a man. You cut off his man parts and he's still a man. Well, he's a eunuch then, actually. If we want to be using actual, you know, terminology. And I don't know why any man would voluntarily become a eunuch, but, you know, whatever. There's some weird ass people in this world. No two ways about it. All right, I'm going to go in here and get my coffee. And I shall return, and then we'll progress on up to Oklahoma City. I'll be back. I've got a card today, so I can leave my camera running. Hallelujah. Okay. Enough of my little musical interlude there. Sorry about that. When I get in the truck, the radio kicks itself on when I start it. It's just how it is. And it defaults to the radio, which I have no idea what the radio's set on. Because I was trying to tune something in yesterday in Texas, so it could be anything. I've actually got my XM running through my phone synced with the truck, so. Okay, so I've got my bad SD card that's getting returned, sending it back. Turns out it was just a bad card. So I think what I'll do is, if I don't get another job, I'll stop up in Oklahoma City and buy a couple of SD cards if I can find a place to do it. You'd think up there I'd be able to find something. I tried yesterday at a Walmart, which Walmart usually carries relatively big SD cards, but the one I stopped at in Sulphur didn't have anything bigger than, I think, 256 gigs. Well, if I'm going to do this, I have to have a lot of memory. Because I film a lot. For the hour or two that I get out of that I publish, I probably film 6 or 7 hours. Just, you know, because I get off on tangents that I don't need, the stuff I don't need to be talking about. So I'll cut that out, cut this out, cut that out. Something will be bad footage or whatever. You know, something will be ugly. You know, that kind of thing. But I shoot a lot of video, and then I just erase it, which I don't have any place to really store it, which is a shame, but I really just don't have any place to store all those gigabytes of unused video, so I just delete it. And then my videos I do publish, they're just on the internet. I don't keep copies of them because I don't have storage for that size of files. So I'm not sure what the solution is for storage. I don't know what people do. It's a mystery to me. I guess it doesn't really matter because, you know, once they're published, that's the goal with them anyways, get them up on the internet where they can be viewed. So I was listening to something the other day, and it was kind of interesting to me because everybody used to say, oh God, if you put something on the internet, it's there forever. It's a permanent deal. You'll never get rid of it. Well, that's not true. It's a bunch of hooey, because I've put a lot of stuff up on the internet over the last, well, since about 1990 something, when I first got on the internet. And most of it's gone. Most of it has aged out and been taken down and replaced. The servers are killed or whatever, where it was stored, however it happens. But I had a lot of stuff. I used to do a lot of internet businesses that are, you know, now gone. You can't hardly find any mention of them. I think you can maybe find mention of a couple of them, but not, you know, all the content I had up is gone. I used to do genealogical CDs, CD-ROMs, and it was very rudimentary stuff. It was taking a microfiche machine, basically, kind of a fancy microfiche machine, and taking still images, making Adobe files out of the images of the records and publish them. This was way back before you could get records online. This was many moons ago. And so I had this company called DigArco, and it was Digital Archives of Colorado. So it was DigArco. But anyway, that was me. Sitting in my little office, microfishing one genealogical record at a time onto PDF file format, which that's the only thing that's still around of all that, is the PDF file format. You can still look at those. I've still got some of the CDs. I have a couple of sets of them left that I just kept, you know. But the stuff I had up on the internet is long gone. I mean, so things you put on the internet do not remain on the internet forever. Somebody was exaggerating and being a drama queen about that. Just so you know. So I don't expect my YouTube videos to last forever either. Who knows how long that'll be a deal, you know, or how they're stored once you upload them. I don't know. I don't know what the storage life is on a YouTube video. I assume at some point they'll fade away, though. Most things do. You know, most things eventually fade out or die off or whatever. And I don't think that this incarnation of the internet is going to be any different than the previous incarnation, the original version. I mean, you would not, when the internet first started, you would never have dreamed it would have gotten to the point it is now. It was just beyond belief, you know. There was no way to foresee it for most of us. I mean, I'm sure there were some smart computer guys around who were figuring it out early. But for just regular human beings like me, it wasn't something that I ever envisioned being like it is now. So honestly, when it first started, it was kind of a miserable pain in the neck, and there wasn't really that much out there. I don't know if you're old enough to remember dial-up. that was sheer misery in and of itself. Sometimes you could get online, sometimes you couldn't. Sometimes when you got online, you could go somewhere, sometimes you couldn't. There just wasn't a lot of content. There wasn't much out there to see. When it first started, it was just like a bunch of chat rooms. You know, that seemed like the biggest thing people could conceive of was all of a sudden being able to sit in a chat room and talk dirty to some stranger anonymously. I think that was a big deal for a while in the 90s. And then it kind of progressed from there. You know, it started improving, and we started getting a little better content and more stuff. And now we've got stuff like Wikipedia. You know, so my dad never went on the internet until 2015. He just didn't have any use for it. And then we got him a computer. When he moved down here, we got him a computer for his birthday. He was getting pretty crippled up. He couldn't get around too well. He'd still get out and go for hunting and stuff, but that was the extent of his outdoor stuff. So he actually took an interest in it then, because he put it this way. He said, I can look up anything and I will find something about it if I look on there. So he really enjoyed it at that point. But if he had met the internet in the 90s, he would have been like, this is a bunch of bullshit and I ain't wasting my time with it. You know, the difference is night and day, obviously. Things progress, things get better, or things get, you know, to the point where they get really good, and then they get stagnant, and then they fade out and die. So I don't know what the internet's going to do. I don't foresee it fading out and dying, but, you know, I didn't foresee it getting to be as it is now, actually a useful thing that you can tap into on the go with your phone. So who knew? I didn't. If you'd have told me this back when I was sitting in my back room office waiting 20 minutes to get online, you know, over the phone modem and listening to things go da-ding, da-ding and being pissed because I couldn't even get on the internet. Or I'd get on there and it was so slow it wouldn't load one PDF file. It would take 3 days for one PDF file to load. I would have never foreseen it being actually a useful thing that you could look at on your cell phone. So, of course, this was when cell phones were still new too. I mean, about that same time, I had my first cell phone, and it was about the size of a brick. It would have made a really good bludgeon if somebody had jumped on me and I had it in my hand handy. I could have probably beat somebody to pieces with it. It was a big old clunky, chunky thing. And it was all analog, so, you know, it would fade out, and you'd have to get closer to a tower or whatever. It would fade, and it would come back in. It would fade out. There were only certain places that would work, certain places that wouldn't. So yeah, it was an interesting deal watching the progression of technology, because before cell phones, the best thing we had was pagers. Everybody had a pager. Everybody who had some kind of business, like doctors, lawyers, people like me who were out driving around all day working, and somebody needed to get a hold of me. You know, we didn't have cell phones, so you had to have some way to let somebody know to call you, call the office or whatever. Somebody come up with pagers, and everybody had pagers. And a lot of the jobs I had, I was required to carry a pager so they could get a hold of me even when I was at home. And it's like, okay, whatever. I'm not going to call you back, but okay. Because they didn't know if you got their message. It wasn't like, it wasn't a two-way thing. It was, they'd send out a signal saying call the office. And we had like this very clever code for it's an emergency. You would code in 911 on your page. But it was, it was like alphanumeric. It was pretty funny. So it would display on your deal 911, call work, whatever. That phase didn't last very long. I think I carried a pager for a couple of years is all. 2 or 3. Well, no, more than that, because I carried a pager in Minnesota. Then I carried one while I was doing land surveying. Probably, maybe, I don't know, 5, 6, 8 years, something like that. It wasn't a really long time. And then the pagers kind of faded away when the cell phones started coming out. And then pretty soon we all had cell phones. Everybody had a cell phone. Your work would issue you a cell phone, and they were extremely expensive. In 2001, I had my personal cell phone, and Bill would call me from down here. This is right before we got married. So he would call me, and we'd be on the phone constantly. We got a $1,300 phone bill on my cell phone. That's how expensive it was, because we talked, I think it was like 300 minutes or something that we had talked that month, and it was $1,400. I was like, oh my gosh, we gotta quit this. Yeah, so he finally moved up to Colorado, and we quit calling each other. It was cheaper for him to move to Colorado than it was to call on the cell phone for a month, literally. Yeah. Anyway. So I had my personal cell phone, and I had my work cell phone. I was a cop at that time. So I had my department issue cell phone, my department issue radio. We didn't have department issued computers. That came way later. Some of the troopers had in-car laptops about the time that I got out of policing. They were going into vogue. But up until then, that was kind of up until about probably mid-2000s, 2004, 2005, somewhere around there. I think that's when they started getting the in-car laptops. Not sure. I remember seeing them in the troopers' cruisers, but I don't remember exactly when that was. We didn't have those. Now that I think all cops have them now. They're a real common thing. Of course, laptops are cheap now. You can buy a functional laptop for $80, $100. So if I didn't say it, we're on Highway 81 heading north towards Oklahoma City. And that's where I'm going with this trailer. I'm going to drop it off up there. And then if I don't get another job immediately, I've got to find a place to drop off my return. So I'll need to find a UPS drop-off site. It should be relatively simple. And then I need to go see if I can find a place to buy some more data cards, memory cards, which is where this whole thing started at. So my memory card, my 1 TB that I just bought was like $108 with shipping. They're expensive as shit. Was a bad card. Would not read in any machine. So it's obviously a major malfunction with it. Fortunately, I bought it through Amazon, so they will take it back. I just gotta send it. Got it all packaged up in here and ready to go. Labeled, all that jazz. So there must be some place in Oklahoma City where I can buy a 1 terabyte card. Like you would think. I mean, must be some electronics outfit or something. If I don't know, Best Buy or who or what. But it seems to me like, I got to thinking about it, it seems to me like the last one I bought, I just stuck it in the camera and it worked. I didn't have to mess with it, so I'm pretty sure that's how it should work. I shouldn't have to jump through any hoops. And if it needs formatted, the camera should be able to format it because it has that function. I could not format the other one on the camera or on my computer. Bill tried it on his computer. It wouldn't work on anything, so yeah. Should time out just about right at 7:26, and they open at 8:30, and I'm 57 miles away. I'm not running very fast. I don't have any intention of running very fast. I'm just going to mosey my way up there. It's morning rush hour between Marlow and Chickasha. In with the heading for work crowd. I'm not in a hurry, I might go up the back way. I really hate paying the interstate or the turnpike when I've got a trailer on because they charge extra. And this trailer's, you know, it's got 2 axles under it. I think I'll run it through Amber. Might as well. Might even stop in Amber and top this off because fuel's cheap there. Since I'm not in a hurry, I'm just not in a rush. I don't know. I have to think about it. I mean, it kind of makes sense. It kind of doesn't make sense because if I get up there and get rid of it, then I can go get my stuff done, maybe, if I don't get another job. Really hoping I don't get another job today, which means I'll probably get another job today. Seems to be how it works. It's kind of a contrarian type of thing. Like if I really want work, I get all antsy and don't get any. But if I don't want work, it seems like, you know, they're trying to run me into the ground. So we'll see how it goes. It's just unpredictable. There's no way to predict it because every day is different. Which is one of the things I like about it, actually. I mean, I don't do the same thing every day. Oh, I guess I'll just go up the turnpike. I'll suck it up. thinking about all the stuff I got to go through to circumvent it. With a trailer on it, it's a pain in the butt. It's a pain in the butt anyway. Either way, it's a pain in the butt. So I guess the turnpike's the least of the pain in the butt choices. It's just more expensive, but I mean, I'm not talking about $20 here. I'm talking about, $4 or $5 probably. I'm not sure how much they charge for extra axles. They charge a couple bucks for the truck and then however much for each axle on the trailer. So, I'm being a little overly dramatic about it, I think. Who would think, Me, dramatic? Nah. That didn't look legal. That shed was hanging way off that trailer, more than 4 feet. Like 8 feet. I think 4 feet's your limit, maybe. I don't know. That looked a little dangerous, actually, is what it looked. So I was kind of reviewing my first Colorado video with the new camera, and I don't know, on my computer I couldn't tell too much about the video quality, but I'm not sure if it was done processing or not. It has to process before it looks good, I think. But when I get home this weekend, I'm going to have to watch it on the TV. Can't really tell on my laptop screen. It's just not that big. But I mean, I watch Wes's videos on my TV. I watch all my YouTube on my TV, which is a big screen, not like gigantic, but a lot bigger than my laptop. So I need to compare apples to apples and watch my video and see if the quality is similar to what he's getting out of his camera. I hope it is, 'cause I'm going to be pretty upset and disappointed if it's not after paying all this money, for a second camera. Of course, it's, I don't know, I mean, what's the point of money anyway, right? Is to be able to exchange it for things that you want or need. So we're turning on Southwest 15th Street, coming off of the interstate. We'll go over here to May, and then we'll go north on May up to Reno. It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy to get through here. a good route, actually. If I got to go into the city, this is not a bad way to do it. Usually minimal traffic up here on May, and even on Reno's not all that busy. I mean, it's kind of a main road in the area, and it does get busy at certain times, but usually when I'm up here, it's not too bad. Go in here and see where they want this thing parked. Mercy. Feels early to me. I mean, it's not, but I was up till about midnight. Between messing with the internet and messing with videos. And I forgot to look up this Oklahoma River thing. This channel going through here, it's definitely a man-made river channel or canal channel. There's nothing natural about that. That's kind of weird thinking those shopping carts are sitting there. Somebody's sleeping up under that overpass, evidently. That must be somebody's driveway where his shopping carts are parked. That's bad. People have to do that. All right. We're getting there. We'll just go around, turn around, and come back in. Yep, gate's open. That's good. That's pleasing to me to know that I don't have to sit outside the gate and wait. They do have to sit and wait on traffic, though. Somebody delivering a horse trailer back up in there. I delivered one up in there one time. I didn't even know that place was there. Had no clue, and then when I got in there, I couldn't find their office because it doesn't have the name that was on my invoice. I was like, what the hell? Finally figured it out and got it delivered, but that was kind of weird. Kind of a weirdo thing. All right, I'm going to go in here and get my paperwork signed anyway. Well, if I can find a pen, I might. I had a whole bunch of pens, now I got no pens. How's that happen? They migrate. They move around. Huh. I guess they're both in here. See, this has to go with that. Alright. I shall return. do that. I can definitely do that. Too close, but I don't want to stick it out here and block his whole road either. I'm backing in there. I don't like the way this looks. Let's do that. Paperwork and then get out of here. I like dealing with this guy. He's easy to get along with. Most of the people I deal with are. Here and do my paperwork. I'm getting out of the yard, so I'm not in their way. If they gotta move stuff around, I'm not gonna be sitting in their way with my head down doing paperwork. Being in their way. Okay. He said they have to work Monday and then they got the 4th of July off. So they don't really get a 4-day weekend like the rest of the universe. So I may not either. I don't know. We'll see how this all goes. Okay, now I need to find the closest UPS. So I've got one here. Let's convert this. Another one, South Portland. Address 901 South Portland. Okay, we'll do that first and then I'll see if I can find a Best Buy or something that might have SD cards. Alright. I have to always look back and make sure I don't have a trailer on there. Sometimes I don't know if I do or not until I look. I'm so used to having them back there and then not having them back there. I know it sounds wackadoodle, doesn't it? Kind of is. Something a little nutty about it. Cool your jets, lady. I got a lady coming up on me pretty fast back here. She must be in a hurry. Oh, it wasn't a lady, it was a guy with a mustache. How'd I mistake that for the lady? my rear view perception is wackadoodly off. Way off. The old Mr. Potato Head thing, Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. Our parts are not interchangeable. Most women don't have a mustache like that. Let's put it that way. It's not like you can, you know, most women don't have the ability to grow one like that. There are a few rare exceptions to every rule, obviously, but for the most part, most women don't have a big dark mustache. There's some commercial out now. I don't even know what it is. I can't remember what it's about. Maybe Amazon or something, or buying something online. There's this girl, and she's got like mustache hairs on her lip, and she's feeling all bad about herself, but she's otherwise cute. So she goes on the internet and buys a fancy leather jacket, and then she's like moonwalk dancing like Michael Jackson or something. So then she feels better about herself. And I think that's the dumbest commercial I've ever seen in my life. Because at the very end of it, they show, you know, close up with all her little mustache hairs, and she's, you know, got funky looking teeth too. I'm thinking, God, that's just, I don't even know what the point of that is, but it was weird. It was a little bizarre. A little creepy, actually. It's kind of creepy. Left me with a very creepy feeling. I'm not sure what the whole intent of that was. But it's a weird commercial. Really strange.